Check it. See that? Look at that. Okay, this is the ANBERNIC RG Rotate. Little gaming handhelds are huge on the market right now. I recently made a video for the AYN Thor, and that video blew up because people are loving that thing. And side note, I am loving that thing. It's probably the coolest like gaming handheld console I've ever used, to be honest with you. But ANBERNIC came out with this little guy, which is a little tiny little square Android device. And if you go like this, little gaming controls on here. On the back, you have L1 and L2, R2, R1, USB-C. Weirdly, the only speaker is this backward firing speaker. It's fine. I usually don't listen to stuff when I'm playing it. Little button here that's just for your layer on top. We'll get to that in a second. Little power button, volume up and down, SD card slot, touchscreen panel, a few little buttons, back button, home button. Buttons feel great, nice and clicky, simple, they're recessed, nothing fancy. But this too carries such an interesting charm to it. And I think it's because, first of all, that is fantastic. You know, there's so many different handhelds like this. So when someone comes out and does something a little bit different, kind of gives you the vibe of the, oh man, what was the little tiny like flip phone back in the day that was like pencil sized and you flipped it around, and it just has that like nostalgia where like phone companies were trying to do cute and different things. And I think like it's definitely giving that kind of vibe here. And just to be able to just boot into, you know, Game Boy Color is probably the best console for this since it's a square screen. It's the closest thing to the screen ratio of a Game Boy Color or a original Game Boy. So playing Game Boy Color games on here is probably the vibe you're going for, especially if you have more than one of these handhelds. I have the AYN Thor, so I've been playing DS games on there, 3DS games on there, I've been playing GameCube, even Nintendo Switch games on the AYN Thor. It allows me to play some of those like older retro, like it kind of has its own little lane in my little game library. I've done some Game Boy Advance games on here, which that is my favorite like retro console. I think like the art styles and I don't know, the 16-bit, 32-bit, whatever it is back then. That's just cool. These things are so customizable that you can add buttons and things like that. It's really, really fun to use these and make them exactly how you want. I do have some Game Boy Advance games on here. So I was trying them out. Obviously Game Boy Advance had like the narrower, more widescreen kind of view. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's the best handheld for that. And in fact, I have one of the ones that they came out with that actually looks like the original Game Boy Advance that I like playing the Game Boy Advance games on there. I think it's actually in my car where it has the controls like on the side. It's such an interesting thing because I feel like a lot of us, especially like for me, I don't have a ton of time as a dad. Like I'm not playing super AAA titles all the time. My wife doesn't love video games either. So to have something like this that like you can sort of keep in your bag, like I just showed you, or in your pocket, I mean, that's highly pocketable. It's just nice. And I've just had a lot of fun with this form factor, playing with that rotating hinge right there, which I got the black one here, which is plastic. The top is metal, but the bottom is plastic. They made a silver one. You can see there's some metal right there too on the back. They made a silver one that's fully aluminum. So if you want something a little colder to the touch, a little more substantial, a little bit harder, there's that. I'm kind of like Russ from Retro Game Core. Like I love a plastic handheld because like that's what handhelds always used to be. So this is weird. It's like, it's a form factor we've never had before in a gaming handheld, but it just kind of works. And I've seen a lot of people just using this for, you know, what it is. Like I'm using RetroFry as my thing put on the top of this so you can kind of see what that looks like. I use it on the AYN Thor. It's fantastic on the AYN Thor, and I just kind of got used to it, and so I layered this on top. But yeah, if we click and hold that, it goes back to just sort of stock Android. I think this is Android 12. Touchscreen's fine. Everything on here is meh. It's probably better than it even needs to be. And you can play games. Like I have some, I think I tried to load up, I don't think I've done it yet though, some PlayStation 1 games on here. You can get by even with like PSP. Obviously you're limited to your like directional button and controls, but you do have 4 shoulder buttons, which is nice. And you can actually, I think there's like a shortcut where you hold like volume up and power or something, and it turns this into like an analog input. So if you are doing like PSP games on here, this can be, it can tell the software that this is an analog stick even though it's directional pad. So there's things like that. With the AYN Thor, you have to like download all the emulators, get that all set up. This comes with some like out of the box emulators. So if you just take your ROMs, put them onto the SD card, or I mean, you can download them if you have them in Google Drive. Like again, it's basically just an Android. So I even put like Spotify on here, right? I have YouTube on here. So like, it can be like a little media player as well, which I also think is fantastic. Yeah, so you can just like kind of use this as a little media player too. Like I said, speakers are terrible.
I was able to do client work and brand deals that have earned me.
But you know, it is what it is. And I think it's different and it's new. It's not a phone. So this is something where maybe you leave your phone plugged in and you just have this and you can listen to Spotify, watch YouTube, and you could basically do everything that you do on your phone. So doom scrolling is something you can do on here if you wanted to. I could put Instagram on here if I really wanted to. So, oh my gosh, look at that. Picture in picture as well. Anyway, this thing's like really capable, but you know, I'm using it obviously for the single use of playing Game Boy Color. I have some SNES games that I want to play. I probably won't do like PSP, PlayStation 2. I think I want to play some PlayStation 1 games on here because it was a D-pad. But anyway, I don't know. It's just been really cool. And I know like people just love this stuff. And usually when someone like ANBERNIC announces like a new sort of innovative, weird device like this, I try to get my hands on it to just play around with it, figure it out, make a video on it. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments down below. I think a lot of you wanted me to do like a full-on review of the AYN Thor. So if you wanted a more thorough review past this sort of like first impressions of playing around with this for a while, let me know down there too. I love picking this stuff up and I just love talking about it on camera and I love talking about it with you all. So that's sort of the vibe for this. I don't even know what I would call this series, but anyway, that's gonna do it. The ANBERNIC RG Rotate. It has been really fun getting to play those older handheld games in sort of a different form factor. While my wife's on the couch with me, I'm over here playing, you know, Zelda, Link to the Past or whatever. And let me know some of your favorite retro games down in the comments so I can, you know, see if I have them and load them on here and start playing them. But that's gonna do it. Thanks so much for watching. On this channel, we like to talk about tech that marries form and function. We like tech that improves our lives and looks good while doing so. So if that sounds cool to you, please consider subscribing, like this video for more. Hype it up if you would. Watch that video next. I think you're gonna love it. We'll see you all in the next one.